Alrighty. All right, guys, it looks like we are officially live. So if you're joining us today, we're going to be doing a webinar that's going to be all about creating detailed floor plans. Before we get started, I'm going to give people a few minutes just to kind of join in. And if anybody is currently watching, can we just do a quick tech check? Can you let me know if you can see me and if you can hear me? This is my favorite part. There's this weird delay for the comments to come in. So hopefully you guys are out there listening to this. All right, good. Glad to see these comments coming in. Okay, great. So we are going to give people just a few minutes just to join us. And whoa, and there they are. All righty. All the comments are coming in. Awesome. So it looks like we've got a pretty good crowd going. All right, sweet. So what we'll do here is I'll give people maybe just 1 minute to join. And while we're waiting for some folks to join in, what we're basically going to be doing for today's webinar is just kind of creating some more detailed floor plans. I'm going to show you, we had a lot of requests for kitchen designs. Seems like everybody wanted some tips and tricks for building out kitchen designs. So we're going to be doing that. So I'll show you, we're going to recreate this kitchen during this webinar. And then I'll go over a number of different kind of tactics that you can use when you're building out your floor plan designs. And then towards the end of it, what I really want to do is give you a sneak peek at our new wall editing tools. And these tools are going to allow you to create well, basically to add wallpaper, tile, brick, stone, any kind of texture you want to the walls so that you can create more detailed designs like this one right here. And oh, hold on a second. Maybe I'm not sharing my screen. Give me 1 second here. One second. I think I need to share my screen. So I'm going to jump in and do that right now before I start, telling you about all these awesome designs that I'm going to share with you, and you're just looking at my face. So let me go ahead and get that taken care of. And yes, I just saw a comment coming in. I am going to show you how to handle slope ceilings as well. So we'll definitely touch on that. But let me get my screen up and running here. Okay, so I've got this one open. Cole, holler if you can hear me or if you can see the screen, because now I can't see any comments coming in, but I'm going to assume that everybody can see my screen now. All right, perfect. Okay, so like I was saying, guys, today we're going to create a kitchen design. I'm going to show you how to build this one out from scratch. And then towards the end of the webinar, I also want to share the new wall editing tool that's going to allow you to create more detailed room designs like this right here, where you're going to be able to add all kinds of textures to the walls. You're going to be able to cut sections out of the walls to create niches for your bathroom designs. You'll be able to build out structures, including slope ceilings like this design right here. So we do have quite a bit that we're going to be covering with this webinar. This is another example of a bathroom design that will allow you to kind of build out little benches within your showers, things like that. There's a lot to cover, so let's go ahead. We'll dive right in. I'm going to open up this floor plan right here, and we're going to kickstart this webinar by building out that kitchen design. Now, before I get started with this kitchen design, I am going to just add in a link here because I'm actually going to show you how you're going to be able to add tile to this kitchen design as well. So we might as well show a little bit of that in the process. Let this load in. Now, with this kitchen design, this is actually the floor plan for my kitchen design. So we're just going to kind of build this out. And I have added in a few products here that I'm going to be incorporating into this kitchen design. But this is what we've got to start with. And we're just going to slowly build this out by adding in cabinets. I'm going to show you how to change the colors of your cabinets, how to add in countertops, and just kind of get everything set up. So let's go ahead. The first thing that I'm going to do when building out any sort of kitchen design is get in my base cabinets. So I'm also going to just kind of switch over into the floor plan mode for this because, it's just personal preference. If you guys like designing in the 3D mode, or some people like designing in this kind of top down 2D mode, I prefer it because I can see exactly where everything is going to get placed. So I'm just switching over to that. And then I'm going to pop over here into the products panel over here. And the first thing we're going to look for is the base cabinets. Okay, so whenever you're looking for the kitchen cabinets, right now you're going to see a variety of options, and they all are going to be kind of the white standard base cabinet with a white marble top. And what we'll do is we'll kind of make our way through this webinar, and I'll show you how you can customize those. But there's different configurations that you can grab, and you can just kind of pull out those individual base cabinets that you plan on using. So I'm going to grab a couple that I plan to use for this overall design. When I am placing my cabinets here, all I'm really doing is using my mouse to click and drag these cabinets so that I can line them up. You can also use the left, right, and up, down arrows on your keyboard as well if you want to move it just 1 inch at a time. If you ever want to kind of duplicate some of the cabinets that you're using, you can just select the cabinet itself, click the duplicate tool right here. It's going to give you another one, and then you can place it where you want within your design. So I'm going to build out this wall first, and then we'll kind of come around to this side as well. You can always adjust your cabinets as well. So if you feel like you didn't quite perfectly line it up, you can always change it. And then I'm going to take this one right here. And if I click here, I can see that I've got 28 inches between this one and the wall. So I'm just going to adjust this cabinet to match that size. We'll just slide it right in. Now over here, I'm going to need to get a corner cabinet in so that I can kind of make it come around this side, and then we can build out that wall as well. So let's see here. We'll pop on back to the products tab, and I'm still in the base cabinet, so I'm just going to have a quick browse through and see if I can find that corner cabinet that I'm going to be using. So let's see here. There it is. This is the one I want. All right, so we're going to rotate this one around, and I'm just going to slide this into place here. I just want to quickly see. Yeah, okay, so this is great. So what we'll do here is we're going to slide this cabinet into place, and then I'm going to pop back into the 3D mode because I want to see what these cabinets are all looking like within the space. So we'll pop back into 3D so we can see everything's kind of lining up here. Now, before I move forward with building out this wall, there's a few things that you're probably noticing. So one, I've got a hole in the top of this counter. So this is a case where this particular cabinet it's a cooktop one, but I don't really care about that because I'm going to cover all of these cabinets with another countertop altogether. So I'm not going to worry about that. The other thing here is that I've got this giant opening here because I do plan on including a farmhouse sink into this particular design. So you'll notice that there are cabinets within the product library that are suited for using something like a farmhouse sink. And then of course there's other cabinets that will have the cutout on the top where you can lower down an undermount sink or something like that into the actual cabinet. So for now, I'm going to take this sink right here. And if you wanted to search for sinks, you can always do that as well. Just make sure that if you're looking for something like that, put in kitchen sink, okay? So that you can see the options that are available to you. And these are the ones that you can sink down into your cabinets. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and add this one. Again, I'm going to flip over into the floor plan mode because it's just easier for me. You guys can do what you prefer. And I'm just going to line up my kitchen sink over here into this particular space. And I'm just going to zoom in. And if anybody's wondering how I'm zooming, I'm just using the wheel on my mouse. But you also have zoom features over here in the top left-hand corner of your screen. All righty, so let's line this up. And once I have it there, the thing that you always want to keep in mind whenever you are building out your kitchen designs, or really any design for that matter, is that if something is going to be raised up from the floor, you always want to adjust the distance from floor here. Okay, because if I just flipped over into the 3D perspective mode, this sink will look like it's sitting inside the cabinet because it's sitting on the floor. So we're going to adjust the distance from floor. Maybe we bring it up 27 inches. And then I'm going to pop back over into the 3D mode just to, oh, let me make sure that, oh, okay, I'm going to check that out. But it looks like it's shifting now. So we've got our kitchen sink. It's sitting a little high. So I'm just going to drop it a couple of inches and see if that does the trick. And that looks better to me. Great. Okay, so we've got our kitchen sink in here. Now that I have that in, before I add in my faucets, and again, if you guys are looking for any specific kind of faucets, you can always just put in the keyword faucet into the product library. You'll see a number of options that you can choose from. Just pull out the one that you want to use. I've already grabbed mine here. But before I move forward with adding the faucet, I'm going to first change the color of my cabinets here. I'm going to add in my countertop, and then I'm going to include my faucet. So the way that I would go about, how do I want to say this? Coloring all of my cabinets. There's a quick and easy way to do it so you don't have to do it all one at a time. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to click on one of my cabinets. I'm going to hold down Shift. If I was on a Mac, I believe you'd be holding down Command. And then you can click all the other cabinets that you have here. You're going to see that they've all grouped together and they're showing up over here in this right side panel. So if I scroll all the way to the bottom of my right side panel, you'll see that there's an option to change the color of the cabinets. So we're going to click into this and that will bring up the color wheel. And then I can just use this to change the color of my cabinets to anything that I want. Now in this case, I do have a specific color that I'm going for. So I am going to change it to 8AA093. That's the color. And if you guys have specific colors, you can put in your specific hex code as well. Otherwise, you can just use the color picker. So now that I've got that in place, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add in my different countertop, because you can see that when you change the color of your cabinets, the countertop is changing as well. We don't want that. So the next thing we're going to do here is I'm going to clear out this search for faucets, and I'm going to, how do we want to go about this? Maybe what we'll do is we'll build out this section of the base cabinets first, and then we'll come back and we'll do the countertop for all of it. That's probably the better way of going about it. So let's go ahead and we'll do that. I'm going to switch back into the floor plan mode right here. And I'm just going to grab a couple more cabinets that I'm going to reuse for this design. Now, in this case, I do have to unlock or ungroup these cabinets because I just grouped them all together so I could change the color all at once. So I'm just going to click the ungroup option right here. And then I'm going to select some cabinets that I'm going to use. And I'm probably also going to add in a stove right here. So we'll take this one right here. We're going to reuse this. I'm going to rotate it to the side here. And just in case anybody's wondering, see this rotation arrow right here? The rotation arrow is always on the front of the product. So if you're ever wondering what's the front or the back of some sort of item, the rotation arrow is always indicating to you that this is the front. So we'll add this one in here. I am going to have a quick look for a stove because I want to see how wide this is going to be. So we'll flip through here and pick up, see if we've got a good option here for, no, this is good. We'll take this one. I'm going to rotate this sideways, slide this into place. And that gives me 39 here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this a few inches. We'll get a 36-inch cabinet in here, and we'll increase the width of this one right here. So let's add in, we'll make this 18. Okay, and I can take this one again because I do want that 3-drawer option like this. So I'm going to duplicate this, rotate it, and we'll make this 36 inches so it fits within the space. All right, let's have a look at this. Now everything's going to have the color that I selected because I'm just duplicating some of the cabinets that I'd already used. So if you weren't doing that and you picked a totally brand new cabinet from the library, it's going to come in white, but then you can just click on any of the cabinets that you have. You'll see that the color is showing on them. You can select into the color field and then just copy, just Control C or Command C to copy the hex code. And then you can apply it to whatever cabinet it is that you need to apply it to. All right, so we've got our whole section of base cabinets in now. So what we can do next is we can start adding in that countertop that I had mentioned. So I'm going to come back into here and I'm going to look for countertop. And I'm going to take this white marble one here. So let's just, we'll rotate this around. We'll click on this and we're just going to place it on top of the cabinets that I currently have. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate this around so it's facing the front, and I'm going to go back into the floor plan view just because for me it's easier. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to check the depth of my cabinets. So it's right here. I'm going to take this. The 0.64 is probably because of that little doorknob handle right there. But let's go ahead and we're going to add this same depth for the countertop. I'm going to take it over here and we'll do this section first. So I'm going to place it roughly in the middle here for this particular section. And then I'm just going to increase the width until it's basically covering the overall top of these counters. If you know the exact size, then you can just put in the exact measurement. Otherwise, you can just kind of click this up until you have covered that section that you want. And then I'll pop back into the 3D mode. And I can see that new countertop coming into place right here. Now, if I rotate this, you're going to see the old countertop just underneath it, which we don't want. So what I would do here is I'm going to click on the new countertop that I've added, and I'm going to increase the height of this. I just want a little extra thickness because I'm just about, my next move will be to place it a little farther down. I'm going to sink it in so it looks like it's sitting basically on top of these drawers, but it's covering the original countertop. So if my cabinets here are 35.5 in height, I'm basically going to take this countertop and I'm just going to bring it down a little bit, just so we can try 34 here and see if that gives us the look that we're going for. And it does. So now you can see you've got your new countertop. You're not seeing the old one that was available. And if I rotate the design a little bit, you've got a nice clean new countertop that you've got on top of your newly colored cabinets. And then we can just take that technique and we can continue it on around the rest of the kitchen here. So I would just grab onto this countertop. I'm going to duplicate it, bring it over here. I'm going to place it again, kind of roughly in the middle here. And I'm just going to expand it again until it covers the entire section that I need it to cover. I'm just going to slide this over a little bit. And we'll have a look and see what this looks like. I could give it a little bit more of a kick this way. So again, I'm just going to come in here and just kind of extend it. And that's looking pretty good. And then I can come back in. I would click on my countertop again. I'm going to duplicate it, rotate it, slide it into place. And in this case, it actually works perfectly well. It doesn't matter if you're overlaying on top of the other countertop that you had added because it's all at the same height. So it's just going to blend right in. And then I can duplicate this again. And this cabinet here is 36 inches wide. So I'm just going to make this 36 inches wide. All right, here we go. Now, the area that we do have to fix is right behind the sink here. So I'm going to come back around, back into the floor plan mode. I'm going to grab the countertop. Whoop. There we go. Grab this countertop. I'm going to click on the duplicate tool again. In this case, I'm going to adjust the depth. I think I only need maybe 6, 7, 8 inches, something like that. So we'll do 7 inches to begin with and see if that works. We're going to slide this back here. We can always adjust it after the fact, but I'm just trying to cover that section behind the open farmhouse sink there. And I could come in a little bit more, but I think that'll do for now. So we've got everything lined up. And now I can go ahead and I can add in the faucet. So I'm going to click onto my faucet. I'm going to move it back up here. When I move my faucet and it recognizes the cabinets, you'll notice that it jumps up and starts sitting on that surface. So it's already at the height that I need it to be at, but I'm going to just go into my floor plan mode so I can make sure that I'm centering it with the center of the window and with these cabinets. And then I'm just going to click here to see how that looks. All right. So this is starting to come together. Now, let's go ahead and we'll start adding in the upper cabinets now. So let's go back into here. We're going to look for upper cabinet. I'm going to go back into my floor plan mode. We're going to look for, I'm going to do all glass uppers for this kitchen design. So I'll take this one. I'm going to take the corner one. And actually, we can start with the corner one. That's probably a good place to start. So we'll bring this over right into the corner here. And remember, you want to make sure that you're changing the distance from the floor, okay? Otherwise, this is going to be sitting inside your cabinets. So you can either use this right here, or you can use the arrows over here and you can adjust it, or just put in the number that you want, and that'll adjust the distance from the floor. And then when you come in over here, it'll be sitting in the position that you need. Okay, so back into the floor plan mode here. And now I'm just gonna kind of make my way through here to add in these cabinets. So again, I need to adjust the distance from floor. We'll set it at 55. And I'm going to, this is a little wide, so we're just going to take down the thickness of this one. I believe I had a measurement for this, but maybe it was 27. There we go. So you can always adjust your cabinets to make sure that they're the right measurements for what you need. And I'm going to duplicate this one again, bring it over, rotate it. This is 36 wide, so we'll just match that. And then we've already got it at 55. I'm going to do another glass one on the other side of this stove, duplicate. And this one we'll have to bring down a little bit. I believe I had a measurement for this one. Maybe it was around, well, actually, no, it's a little bit of both. Okay, we'll just make this one rotate around and we'll scale it down. So let's try it like, yeah, we could increase it here. I think it'll be 30. All righty. Okay, slide that into place. Come back into your kitchen view in the 3D design. And now you've got all your uppers in place. Now I do have we'll add another one that's just above the stove here. So let's see here. I think I'm going to take this one actually. So I'll pop back into my floor plan mode. We're going to add this one in. My stove is 30 inches wide. So I'm just going to change this to 30. And I'll slide this into place. And we need to make sure that this is going up 55 inches. Okay. Now in this case, I don't want it to be so close to the top of the stovetop. I'm going to shorten this cabinet so it gives us a little bit more space in here. So we'll take this down by 10 inches. And then I'm just going to use these arrows right here to pull this cabinet up so it's aligned with the top of the other upper cabinets. And then what we could do is we can actually look for an under cabinet hood for this as well. So let's do cool. All right, so we can take this one right here. So I'm just gonna pop this in, rotate it around. I'm gonna change this because I want it all to kind of be the same width as my stove. So we'll do 30 inches here, and then I don't even know. We'll start it at 45, and then we can always go in and see if we need to adjust this. Actually, this one looks like it is a little bit wider. There's a little bit of a gap there. We'll see what this looks like. Give me a second here. Okay, I'm going to chat with the team because I can see that this, I thought I adjusted the distance from floor. I'm pretty sure I did. So I'll have a chat with the team and see if there's something that we need to do to just correct that. There it is. Okay, so we'll drag this up and just place it just below the upper cabinets. And then from here, we could just grab that color from one of the cabinets. So I've selected this cabinet right here. I'm gonna go into the color tool. I'm gonna copy this color code right here by hitting Control C. If you're on a Mac, you'll do Command C. And then what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna click one of my cabinets, hold down Shift. Again, if you're on a Mac, you'll hold down Command. And then you're gonna click all of the cabinets that you have to group them all together. We're gonna come over here to the right side panel. We'll change the color and you're just gonna copy in the code. So I'm gonna hit Control V. If you're on a Mac, you'll do Command V. And all of the color or all the cabinets should then switch over to the color that you've created. Like that. Okay, so let's add in some floating shelves. We haven't done anything like that yet. So we'll just kind of open up this design a little bit here. Let's say I want to add in some floating shelves over here. So what I would do is there are options if you just put in, I think there's options for floating shelf. You might need to put in just shelf. We'll see. Yeah, there's some options here. But for me, a better option would be to look for a wood beam. Let's see here. So there's a bunch of wood beam options that you can use. And the reason I like this is because I can then completely change the size of it, make it match the size of the floating shelf that I want. And because I've got all these different wood stains, I can pick one of those, or I can pick this light colored wood stain and change the color of it using the color selection tool. So let's rotate this wood beam around. And then over here, I'm just going to adjust the dimensions. So I believe this section here was 42 inches from the edge of the window to the actual wall here. So what I'm going to do is we'll just change the width of this to 42 inches. And I'm going to change the depth. What am I going to change the depth to? Maybe 14 inches and 1.5 for the overall height. So I've got my floating shelf here, and I'm going to set it up so that there's 4 shelves here, with the bottom one being at the same level of the upper cabinets. So we'll adjust the distance from the floor here to 55. And then I'm going to go in to the floor plan mode and just line it up. Now, if you want to add multiple shelves on top of each other, what you're going to do is you're going to have your first shelf in, you're going to duplicate it, you're going to bring in your next shelf, and then you're just going to want to decide what the distance between the shelves are going to be. So for me, I'm going to do 12 inches in between. So if this is at 55, then my next one is going to be at 67. And then I would duplicate it and add my next shelf and line it up on top of the other one. So, sorry guys, math is not my specialty. So if that was at 67, then my next one is going to be at 79. And then I'm going to do one last one. And because that's at 79, we're going to do 91. All right. So let's go ahead and we'll have a look to see what this looks like. So I've got my floating shelves in. And the next thing that I could do is if I wanted to change the color of them, again, I'm going to click on one of them, hold down Shift, click all the others. And then I can come over here to the right side panel and I'm going to change the color of it over here. So it just kind of gives you more flexibility if you wanted a lighter or darker, a different kind of red or yellow kind of stain to the wood. You can just kind of use the color tool feature here and then drag it around until you feel like you've got something that works well for you. I need a little bit more orange in there. Right. All right. Well, we don't have to fuss with this, but you get the idea. And then from there, if you wanted to, there's all kinds of, I don't know, like kitchen items that you could add into the design as well if you wanted to make it look more lived in. So let's have a quick look here for mugs, or you could look for bowls, toasters, coffee machines, all kinds of stuff. This will actually be good because it's a set of 4. So I'm going to rotate this design a little bit so I can see the top of this shelf. Click the mugs here. You'll see that the selection circle will recognize the height of your shelves. So then you can just click to add them. And then if you want, you can use your left, right, and up, down arrows to move these things 1 inch at a time until you have them into the position that you want. And then from there, I could just duplicate this as well and put in another set and shift it around and just kind of place things on the shelf like that. Okay. Alrighty, so that actually kind of covers the gist of creating the kitchen designs right now. I should say that while this is the functionality that you currently have available to you, once the team has finished up on the wall editing tools, we're going to be jumping right into more kitchen and bath updates. So essentially, we're going to basically look at creating options that allow you to change out the face of the cabinets, the styles, adding in hardware, different hardwares to the doors, and then just also additional options that will allow you to just adjust the countertop all at once. But I did want to just show some of the functionality that you have right now for those that are wanting to create more elaborate kitchen designs. And hopefully these techniques will give you that flexibility. Now, before we finish off with this kitchen design here, what I am going to do is I'm going to show you how the new wall editing tool will work. So we can actually add some tile to the back of this and create a backsplash. So let's go ahead and we'll do that. Now, this new wall editing tool is going to be available within the next week or 2. The team's just working on a few final little finishes to it, but I just kind of want to give you a sense for how it works. So let's go ahead. We're going to click on this wall here. When I click on this wall in the 3D mode, you'll see this little tooltip. It's got like a little pencil for editing. So we're going to click into that. Then it's going to take us into this wall editing tool. And there's a 3D preview panel right here that's showing you which wall is selected. And you can always decrease it and increase it if you want to see how those tiles or whatever it is that you're adding to the walls are actually looking on the design. So the first thing that we're going to do here, if we want to add a backsplash, is I need to create a rectangular shape to indicate where the tile is going to go. So I'm going to click this option over here. We're just going to click anywhere within this wall to add a rectangular shape. And from there, I can come over to the texture library where I'll be able to jump into any of the collections. I can browse through and see what options are available to me. And then if I find a tile that I like, I can click on it, click directly into the space, and it's going to load into the space. And if I extend this out, you're going to see the tile showing on the 3D previewer. Now, in this case, I can see that I need to adjust my rectangular shape because it's not actually hitting the base of the cabinet. So I'm just going to click on it and drag the line down so that I can change the size of it. You can just click and drag and adjust the overall shape to whatever you like. The other thing that you can do here is if I look at this, maybe I feel like the tile is a little large and it's not quite a good example of what I'm kind of recommending for my client. So if I want to, I could actually close down this little 3D previewer. I'm going to select on the tile. And when I select on this particular section that I've added, over here, you're going to see that you've got a few options available to you. So here we've got our horizontal scale. So I could actually decrease the size of this tile, let's say by 50%. I could do the vertical scale by the same size just to kind of decrease the overall size of the individual tiles. I also have the ability to change the horizontal offset. So if I wanted to make sure, in this case, if I was using really large tiles and I had, what looked like a full tile here and then a little sliver of a tile here, you can change the horizontal offset so that it evens it out. And you can also change the vertical offset. So let's try, I'm going to back out of here and I'm going to go back into, let's go into brick. I want to show you what I mean by that. We can use this one. This will be good. So if I change the horizontal offset, you can see that it slides. So you don't have to have like that little sliver of a tile on one side. You can kind of even things out. And then you can also do the vertical offset so that you don't have like a little, well, in this case, I can get a full tile on the top and a full tile on the bottom. So that's pretty cool. So you can just kind of set it up the way you want. And then when you're ready, you can go ahead and you can save your wall and you'll see all the tile added to your new kitchen design. So, and from here, I could even, if I wanted to, let's have a look at this. I'm going to just kind of open up this design a little bit. If I like how this looks on this wall, I'd be able to click this wall, duplicate it, and then paste this wall texture onto this wall as well, so that it's basically lining up perfectly on this side as well. And in this case, I might actually bring it down because I think I'd keep it just below this, this lower shelf here. So if I wanted to fix it, click here. We're going to edit this wall. I'm just going to, actually, I'm going to close this. I want to, oh no, that was good. Yeah. I wanted to make sure that when I'm in this view, if I edit this wall, here we go. I want to be able to open up my 3D previewer to see this wall so that when I adjust it here, I'll be able to see if it's lining up perfectly within my 3D design. Now, right now, we're still making a couple of final changes to this thing. So before we launch this, these will actually have measurements on it. So you can see exactly how high up from the floor it is, how tall this individual section is, and you'll be able to map it exactly where you want it to be. So it's just an extra feature that the team still needs to work on, but you can kind of get a sense for how this is going to allow you to start building out your designs, adding tile and backsplashes to kitchens. You'll also have options to add wallpaper or brick or stone or anything like that, which is kind of cool because then you'll be able to build out your own fireplaces and a variety of other things as well. But let's go. We're going to save this and then we can have a look at this overall design here to see how we feel about it. Okay. I could continue on with this and we could add in a fridge over here on this side and maybe a little cabinet and countertop as well. But I'm wondering if it makes more sense to maybe jump into some other elements that we can discuss. One being creating custom kitchen islands as well. I know we've had a lot of designers who are asking about that. So I'm thinking what I'll do here is I'll close out on this design. We'll open up another one and I'll show you how you can basically create your kitchen islands as well. And then maybe what we'll do is we'll go into another case where I can show you how the new wall editing tool is going to work so you can build out some fireplaces. Alrighty, so I might as well save this design. We've done all this work. So if you wanted to, you could go ahead and you could save just the floor plan. If you just wanted the floor plan, and if you want the 3D top down and the 3D perspective, you would just click these. You're going to click in here to set up your render, because if you want these, you actually have to set up which direction you're going to be taking the rendering image from. So we'll click into this. I could take it from this view, or I could rotate it around and zoom out a little bit and take it from this view. Okay. And over here, you have your field of view. So you would be able to zoom in or zoom out. You can change the sun position as well. Oh, I'm going to move that back out here. So, okay, good. And then I'll check into that as well. Because I'm on our testing branch, things are a little bit, things just need to be finessed a little bit still, because there's team is still working on the wall editing feature. So we can change the sun position, and when I'm ready, I can go ahead and I can just start my rendering. And we'll just let it do its thing. And once it's done that, we can apply the rendering to the project. So we're just going to say we're going to use this rendering in the project. If you wanted to modify it, you can modify it as well, and it'll just give you a chance to change up the angle, change up the sun position. So let's go ahead and use this, and then we're going to hit save here to save this to the project. And then once we're done with this, we'll jump into a completely different design, and we'll just work on showing you how you can create. Okay, perfect. So let's back out of here now. I'm actually going to stop the screen share just for a second, just to kind of get a sense for what everybody is interested in, just because I can't see the comments that are coming up. So I'm going to stop the screen share, and I'm going to pop back in here and just do a little check with you guys. So what would you like to see? Do you want to see how you can create kitchen islands where you can have overhangs of the counter and have stools set up? Let's think about this. We can also we could also look at creating fireplaces with a new wall editing feature. It's not available to you right now, but I'm happy to give you a little sneak peek of that so you can get a sense for how you would set that up. Or we could also do sloped ceilings. Okay. All right. Here we go. Comments are coming in. I'm going to quickly scan here. I'm going to see what everybody wants, and then we'll just continue on. Okay, cool. We got lots of comments here for kitchen islands. Let's do it. We might as well do that. Then we can get into some additional options when it comes to adding tiles to the walls. One of the cool features that I would like to show you guys is the ability to create shower niches, so that you can have those little kind of cubby holes where you can place your shampoos and whatever else, and add different tiles to that compared to the overall wall tile selection that you've added to your showers. So we'll jump into that as well, but let's get back into the screen share here. I am going to open up another one, and I'll show you how to create your custom kitchen islands. All right. Okay, so I've got another design. Here we go. Okay, so I've already created one. I'm going to show you exactly how to replicate it. So let's go into the 3D mode so you can see what it looks like. So this is one that I have created where we have a specific combination of base cabinets. We've added in a countertop. And basically what I'm doing is I am creating an extended countertop, so I get the overhang that will allow us to add in some kitchen stools. So the way we would go about creating this is to go back into products. We're going to look for base cabinets. We're going to pick whatever combination of cabinets we want. So again, you've got a variety of options here that you can choose from. And I'm just going to we'll take this one. And I'll take this one. And I'll just use that one on the other side. So let's zoom in here. I'm going to line up my base cabinets so that they all meet up. Oh, jittery fingers here. Alrighty. We're going to line up this one as well. So let's say this is going to be the base of my cabinet. I can come into the 3D perspective mode just to see what this looks like. If I'm happy with this, click on one cabinet, hold down Shift, click the other cabinet to group all three together, change the color. So let's make it dark blue this time. And then what we can do is we'll go back for that counter, the countertop. I'm going to grab this, place it on top, and I am going to, let me think about how I'm going to do this. We're going to come into the 3D perspective mode, and I am going to, okay, so if my cabinet, let me just ungroup this. If my cabinet is 25 in depth, maybe what we will do is we're going to add in an extra 12 inches of overhang. So I'm going to bump this up to 37. Oh, not this one. Not this one. Make sure you've selected your right piece here. Okay. This is the one I'm going to bump up to 37 for the depth. Okay. So we'll come back into here. I'm going to make it slightly overhang on this side, just so I have a little bit of a lip. And then I'm going to increase the width of this countertop so that it goes all the way to the edge of this, this particular island here. So we're just going to bump this up until we're happy with it. And if I need to just readjust it, I can always do that. We're going to come back into the 3D perspective mode. Now again, you can see that the counter is sitting on top of the old counter. You don't want that. So the fix for that is we're going to increase the overall thickness of this counter. And then I'm also going to adjust the height of where this counter is. So we're going to bring it down so it's sitting in the actual base cabinets a little bit. So I'm going to drop this to say 34. Now I've got my countertop. I've got the overhang here. We can look for kitchen stool. And then just bring in whatever option you want. Let's see here. Oh, I guess whatever. It doesn't really matter. I leave it to you guys to pick the perfect stools to match your countertops or your kitchen islands. The goal here is really just to show you that you can bring them in and then you can line up these stools so that when you're placing them, they're going to be sitting directly underneath your new kitchen islands, like that. Okay. Alrighty, let's jump into a bathroom design. I want to show you how you can create well, actually, we don't even need to. What we could do is we can turn one of these walls into a tiled wall, and I'll show you how you can create a little niche out of it so that you can have that set up for things like your showers, bathtub surrounds, things like that. So I'm going to grab this link here that I can use. Pop back into our testing mode where we're going to be able to access the wall editing feature. We're going to come into here. We'll use this wall right here. All right, let's create we'll build a tiled wall for this whole thing. So we're going to take the rectangular shape right here. We're going to click in the corner and we're going to fill out the entire wall space. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into tile. We'll go into marble. And I'll just have a quick look for, I think I want like a large marble tile that I want to use, a nice white one. All right, there's a lot of options that are available. Okay, here, we'll take this. So we're going to add in this marble tile here. In this case, I'm going to, let's increase the scale of this. Let's do 150%. Oh, not 10%, 150%. and 150. Yeah, let's have nice big tiles that we can play with here. Okay, so if I wanted to adjust the horizontal offset so this is even on either side, then I would just slide this so that I can kind of get everything evened out. You can do the same with the vertical. So if you want to have it just kind of set up in a way where you don't have that a little sliver of a tile at the top or the bottom, then you can do that. And then what we'll do here is I'm going to create another square. Let's say that this was a shower wall and we wanted to create a little niche so that we can add whatever, conditioner, shampoo, whatever it is, we're going to add it in here. And you don't have to follow the exact edges of the tile. You can place it wherever you want. So if I really wanted to, I could just kind of bring this down, bring it up a little bit, place it where I want. So now let's see here. I want to get out of, was I in tile there? I think I was in tile, but let's go into the marble section and we'll pick something else that we're going to use for this section that we're going to create our little niche in. I want something that's just a little bit different. Okay, I don't have to waste time doing this because you guys are going to pick whatever you want. Let's use this one. This is fine. Okay, so we've got this, and I want this to be slightly smaller, so I'm going to decrease the size of this one. Now, if I want this to look like it's sitting in the wall, if I scroll down, you're going to see the extrusion option. If I go this way, it's going to extrude out. So let's open this up. I wonder if I think I'd need to rotate the design a little bit to see it on the side. So we'll just do, if I extrude in, oh yeah, there you go. If you extrude out, it's going to come out into the space. If I go the opposite way and I go to the left, it's going to cut into the wall so that you're going to have that little ledge. So let's save this. If I rotate this to the side, you'll see that it's got the little cutout section here. And that's exactly what I used when I was creating this design right here. And over here. Okay. Now, let's see here. There is another design that I had created that'll show you how you can add in a sloped ceiling as well using the extrusion tool. So let's back out of this. I don't think I need to save this. We'll just leave this one as is. And I'm going to come into an entirely different project, actually. This one right here. See how I've got this sloped ceiling here for this bathroom design? This is actually my bathroom. So I've been playing around a lot now that we have these new tools. Let me tell you, it is exciting. So let's jump into this. Again, I'm going to grab that link so that I can use the new testing stage. Oh, maybe I created this one after or prior to my... Let's test this one out. This might have been in the early stages of creating this tool, so it might not work on the testing stage. Let me back out of here, and I'll just create a brand new design where we're going to show how to create that slope ceiling. Okay, I just need a small space. And I think I need to save this design first, and then when I come back in to edit it, I'll be able to add in the new link that will give me access to the wall editing tool. So just bear with me for just a second. Perfect. All right, so we need to jump into the 3D perspective mode. If I wanted to have a sloped ceiling on this side, here's how I would approach it with the new wall editing tool. Click the back wall here. We're going to edit this. Now, I can add, when I'm adding any shapes to the wall, to that back wall, here's how I would go about doing that. If it was a sloped ceiling, I could use the line tool or the triangular tool here. So let's try it out with the triangular tool. I'm just going to place a shape like this, and then I'm going to pull the corners so that it's covering the area that I'm going to want to extrude out into the space. And when we have the measurements added to this feature, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to make sure that you're getting the exact position or the exact scale for these sloped ceilings or any other extrusions that you're looking to achieve for this particular design. So now that I have this shape in here, I would just go into the paint color library. We can even go into any of the paint collections, and then you can pick a paint color that you're going to use. So let's use this cabbage white here. We're going to select this. We're going to apply it to this shape. Here's the extrusion. So let's say, I should have taken note actually of how big I made this room, but let's go ahead and we're going to extrude this shape out 90 inches, maybe something like that. We can always adjust it after the fact. See how it's created this shape? And if I want the color of my extruded shape to match my wall, I still have the ability to add paint to this wall as well. Okay, here's cabbage white. We were already in fireball, so we can apply it here. I could add it to all the walls, I guess, if I want, but it'll give you that shape. And then from here, this is, let's just do 11 feet even. Oh, sorry, it's not 11 feet. It's the 16 feet here. Let's just bring this down to 9 feet, and then I can do 108 inches, and then that will bring us right to the full, perfect. Okay, so if I come in here now and I want to extrude this shape, we'll click on this wall again. We're gonna go into the editing. We're gonna click into here, and I'll just do 108 inches. So that it comes for the full length of that wall. Like that. So there's going to be a lot of flexibility built in with this new feature. The cool thing is that you can use it for bulkheads. You could use it for little benches in your showers. You can use it to cut out sections of your wall and have little nooks. So there's a lot of flexibility that's built in, and you can apply any wallpaper, paint, tile, texture, whatever you want to those extruded elements as well. All right, I'm going to stop sharing the screen here, and I'm just going to check back in on the comments, and we'll see where we stand. It's actually 3 minutes to 2 o'clock, so maybe I'm going to just kind of take some questions for now, and we can always look at creating additional videos for any questions that we don't get dealt with today. Hopefully that sounds good. Okay. All right, I'll tell you what, I do see that there are comments for the fireplace as well. I know that we've kind of run out of time. What I'll end up doing is I'll just create a video that shows you exactly how you're going to be able to build out your fireplaces. Let's see here. Kitchen islands, sloped ceilings. Okay. The bathroom niche. Hopefully you guys are, if you have any further questions on the bathroom, I've been talking too much, you guys. If you've got any questions on the bathroom niche, then you can keep letting me know. Oh, comment on the custom ceilings. So good news, with the new wall editing feature, once we launch that, we're starting it with the walls, but the same functionality that we use on the walls is also going to then be added to all flooring and all ceiling options as well. So it'll give you that flexibility to create all kinds of different patterns and structures for both the floors and for the ceilings too. Okay. There's a lot of comments here, guys. I'm just trying to make my way through it, so bear with me. It's gonna, yeah, for anybody who missed the first half, this is going to be um, we're recording it, so we're just gonna add it to our YouTube channel as well, and you'll also see it in the video tutorial library section within Design Files. Okay. Can you do marble slab? Yes, there is a section that in the texture library that has all kinds of beautiful marble slabs, which was really exciting. So there's lots of fun textures to start playing around with. And we've also been reaching out to companies to see if they're willing to share their collections as well within that feature. So instead of just right now, we've got a number of options that are available to you, but we are looking at expanding into that and having a variety of different collections from different vendors. Can you add an arch to the niche? You can right now. So I can talk to the team about that and see if, well, I'm sure it's possible. We just have to figure out how to do it. So I'll talk to the 3D team and see what they think about that. Staircases is definitely something that we do need to still work on. So thanks for bringing that up. Right now, the way Design Files is set up, it's just set for doing one floor at a time instead of having multiple floors. So we just need to figure out how we're going to accommodate the cutouts in the ceiling or in the flooring if you're indicating that stairs are going down or going up to the secondary floor. Okay, you could use the extrusion tool to raise a floor. I actually did that. Let me just share the screen again. Okay, let me see if I can pull this one up from a different angle. We'll go back into my 3D webinar. Here we go, this design right here. Oh, I'm gonna have to bring in my link. And somebody's trying to call me. I gotta turn that off. Okay. So yes, you could do it to raise a floor. You're basically just creating an extrusion that is so many inches high, and then you can apply a different texture or covering to it. And that's how I was able to create this sort of wood panel effect for this bathroom design. So in this case, if I went in to edit this, you'll see that I've got this little piece down here where I created another rectangular shape. I filled that with a different texture. And if I click on that, you're going to see the extrusion here. It's jutting out 85 inches. So you can make it as tall, as wide as you like, and that would help you create raised or sunken in floor visuals that you can add to your designs. Okay. Again, I'll just stop the sharing here, and then I can kind of come back and keep checking in on the questions. Yeah, adding molding to the cabinets, definitely. So right now with some of the tools that I showed you for creating that kitchen design, that's what's currently available. Once the team is finished with the wall editing tools, and we're hoping to have that live within the next week, maybe 2 weeks, but very, very soon, then we can really start digging into the kitchen functionality and helping you create more custom cabinetry, adding the crown molding to that, adding in, I'm sorry guys, I'm not a designer, so you'll have to try to make sense of what I'm saying, but you know how you can extend your cabinets towards the ceiling and you have kind of like a fake area in between, so it just kind of makes it look like they're completely going to the ceiling and then adding the crown molding around it, that sort of stuff. So that stuff we'll be looking into. But a lot of it will come down to giving you more flexibility with different cabinet faces, different options, adding in your specific hardware that you want to add in, a lot more options when it comes to countertops. So we'll keep you posted as we make our way through that. But right now, hopefully the tips that I showed you right now will help out with creating more detailed kitchen designs. And we'll work really hard to get that new wall editing tool out to you, because let me tell you, it is a lot of fun. I've been sitting in my office and literally yelling out yes to my computer screen as I'm building out these bathroom designs, because it's so fun to see what's possible. Okay, I think what we'll do is we're going to leave it at that. We've gone beyond our hour time limit here. So what I'll do is I'll check these comments after this session, and we'll just look at creating more and more videos for any of the questions that come up, and we'll let you guys know when those are available, so you can see other ways that you can tackle these projects and other ways that you can use some of the new functionality. I hope this was really helpful for you. If there's anything you need, please reach out on the live chat or reach out to Cole and I directly. We're always happy to help. Thank you for watching.